Hi everyone, this is Yoni, owner and founder of Temple of Gainz. Today I'm going to be showing our two all-in-one racks. They are power racks, functional trainers, and Smith machines, everything built in and integrated. And the two racks are very similar. The only difference is this one here behind me does not have a counterbalance for the Smith machine, and that one does have a counterbalance for the Smith machine. I see a lot of racks that are jack of all trades, master of none, meaning they have attachments for this, attachments for that. This is built in, that is built in. All of those things tend to work okay, but nothing is really exceptional. Ours is basically three core functions, all of them done exceptionally well. Power rack, functional trainer, Smith machine. One of the main features that differentiates our racks from our competitors is the use of 5/8 inch holes. So if you are in the 5/8 inch hole ecosystem, this is the perfect all-in-one if you're looking to upgrade or if you're looking for something that integrates a Smith machine. And if you want to add attachments, you can, of course, because you have the 3x3 or 75x75 millimeter tubing that you could use with any attachments that use that size plus the 5/8 inch holes. By using the 5/8 inch holes, the spacing right here where you would set up your bench safety is a lot closer than it would be on a 3x3 1-inch hole rack. What I like about that is sometimes on a rack with bigger hole spacing, you might set up your bench safety and it's either too high or too low. So you're either limiting your range of motion or just kind of on the cusp where it might be a little sketchy getting out in case you fail to lift. The good thing about having hole spacing so close with the 5/8 inch is that you could fine tune it and really find the perfect spot to set up your safety. Because the functional trainer is numbered here for the trolley, you can use that to identify where you set up your bench safety without having to write on your rack or put stickers or something like that. So as a functional trainer, you have two independent stacks. The machine comes standard with 100 kilograms, 220 pounds in increments of 11 pounds or 5 kilograms, and can be upgraded to 120 kilograms, 264 pounds. The functional trainer is extremely smooth. We have the aluminum pulley upgrade on this machine. It does come standard with nylon or plastic pulleys. Whether you do the plastic pulleys or the aluminum pulley upgrade, the functional trainer is just really, really smooth, really nice. Now, the pulley system is at a 2-to-1 ratio. This is pretty standard for all functional trainers, reason being the cable will travel twice as long. And when you're doing something such as a chest fly or rear delt flies facing the other way, you want to have that cable travel. And if you don't have that, the cable will just kind of bottom out and you're not able to get that full extension on some of these movements. There are racks that integrate a 1-to-1 pulley ratio for lat pull down. Personally, I find that they tend to be a lot more complicated, need more attachments, etc. But you can do lat pull downs on the rack. Of course, the felt weight is half of the stack. So for most people, they'll probably max out the stack on a 1-to-1 lat pull down, but you can do single arm lat pull downs and the weight stack is really plenty for that. So the third and final, I would say main function is as a Smith machine. What's really nice about our racks is that they're built with the Smith machine in mind. It's not an add-on, it's not an upgrade, it was always by design for the rack. What's funny to me about Smith machines is that when I started training, Smith machines were considered the worst thing a gym could ever have. And now I think people are really starting to see the utility and the functionality of a Smith machine in both strength and hypertrophy training. A Smith machine is locked on a fixed path, which allows you to really focus on the muscle group that you're targeting. Of course, I think all training should incorporate a little bit of everything. Just having the ability to use a Smith machine when you want to is really nice. So our Smith machines are really nice in that they're integrated, use really high quality linear bearings, so everything feels really nice and stable. You have safeties, which are easily adjustable. So if you're doing something like a squat and you just want to have a failure point where you don't have to drop the bar behind you, it's really nice to have that quickly adjustable safety. Now we have the Counterbalance Smith machine and the regular Smith machine. The Counterbalance connects the Smith machine barbell to weights, which are specifically made to balance the weight of the bar. So when I start the movement here, it's about 45 pounds. When I start the movement there, it's essentially 0 pounds. There are pros and cons to each. One of the pros of a counterbalance is that you're obviously able to start at a lower weight. When you're using a Smith machine without a counterbalance, that bar is essentially the starting weight of the bar, which might be too high for some people. Whereas on the counterbalance, you can put 5 pounds on either side and you're starting at 10 pounds. So if you're a much stronger person and you're already putting 2, 3, 4 plates on either side, with the counterbalance, you have to factor in that you have to add the weight that would match up to the weight of the bar. Whereas without the counterbalance, you don't need to think about that. So the rack pretty much comes with everything you need to get started, but weights, and a bench. The rack also includes J-cups and safeties, D-handles, a lat pull-down attachment, a seated row attachment. It comes with the dual rope, a landmine attachment for rows, a bar that connects to both of the pulleys, so you could do something like a back row or a chest press at a 1-to-1 ratio. You also have this integrated foot plate which can be quickly removed, and that allows you to do a seated row. Again, that's going to be half of the felt weight, but single arm rows is definitely an option. So in addition to the removable foot plate, you also have a removable landmine attachment, and our racks do come with an Olympic barbell. It's a surprisingly nice barbell, especially if you're a beginner just starting out. I don't think you really need more than the barbell that our rack comes with. It also includes carabiners, chains, clips for the Smith machine. The functional trainer is weight stack plates, so you don't have to load weights onto horns. There's almost no exercise you can't do. You could set up the bench and use the lat pull-down knee pad to do lat pull-downs. You could do seated rows. You could do all of the power rack movements, RDLs, bench presses, squats, front squats, and of course you have the Smith machine where you can do incline presses, overhead presses, bench press, Smith machine squats, RDLs, etc. And of course you do have a multi pull-up bar, which was one of the upgrades on our version 2 machine. So if you've ever messaged me or Temple of Gainz, you'll know that we're very honest, we're very transparent about our equipment. If you were to ask me, why should I not purchase this rack? In my mind, really the only limitation about the rack is that it doesn't integrate out of the box 1-to-1 lat pull downs and seated rows. The stack being at 2-to-1 means if you're doing bilateral of either, most people will max out the stack pretty quickly. You could do unilateral work, in which case the stack is more than enough. If you have a lat pull down seated row machine, or that really doesn't matter to you, that's really the only thing that I would say that our rack doesn't have, although there are workarounds to make it work and get a 1-to-1 ratio with aftermarket options. So I think something worth mentioning is what you're getting for the price of this rack is an exceptional value. There's so many different things you could do with just this one rack. It offers an incredible amount of versatility. You have great attachments that it comes with, but you can also purchase a number of attachments and accessories from other manufacturers that will still work with our rack. I think it's a perfect all-in-one for 99% of people. And I mean, it just says Temple of Gainz on the side. Don't you want a Temple of Gainz in your home?